Hello, welcome back to Chapter Day. Happy Sabbath. I hope you all are taking a break, but especially if you've been out in the workplace whole week, you need to take the rest that God said we should take. Okay, yesterday we read Nehemiah chapter 5, where we saw some of the wives and people who were left back in Jerusalem after the captivity. Now remember, they left the king, left back the poorest people, farmers, etc., and took the princes and the sons and the daughters and the wives, etc., and they killed some of the servants and whoever else they chose to, and the rest of the people, the poorer ones, stayed back. Now during captivity, after Cyrus gave that command for them to rebuild, the Jews that returned, some of them had maybe tried to get back their lands and were taking it back from the poor people, who of course were using the lands, and they came back in, and now they were claiming whatever it was that the people had as theirs, and there was a controversy over that. So the people were crying out to Nehemiah, and he in turn had to stop it. He had to put a stop to it. And he made petition to God, and to the people, that they need to restore the lands to the people, and whatever they've taken, their vineyards, their olive yards, their houses, give it back to them. Okay, and let's see what happens next. He also confessed that he did not take anything from anyone since he came back. He was providing for himself. Whatever he ate, whatever he drank, it came from his own hands. Okay. Chapter 6. Now it came to pass, when Sanballat and Tobiah and Geshem the Arabian and the rest of our enemies heard that I had builded the wall, and there was no breach left therein, though at that time I had not set up the doors upon the gates, that Sanballat and Geshem sent unto me, saying, Come, let us meet together in some one of the villages in the plain of Ono. But they thought to do me mischief. Now remember, Sanballat, he seemed to be the leader of the opposers. When they came back to Jerusalem, he was the one spearheading the group of the others to stop the work. Now he is sending a letter to say to Nehemiah that he wants to meet with him after he heard the wall was already built. But Nehemiah is wise enough to know that he's up to no, Sanballat is up to no good. Verse 3. And I sent messengers unto them, saying, I am doing a great work, so that I cannot come down. Why should the work cease whilst I leave it and come down to you? Yet they sent unto me 4 times after this sort, and I answered them after the same manner. Then sent Sanballat his servant unto me in like manner the 5th time, with an open letter in his hand, wherein was written, It is reported among the heathen, and Gashmu saith it, that thou and the Jews think to rebel, for which cause thou buildest the wall, that thou mayest be their king according to these words. So again, you know what? When you can't join them, you try to beat them. So Nehemiah is not taking any of his petitions to come to see him. So he sends a letter saying that he's reporting rebellion. You see, that's what people try to do. They can't get you to stop a progress. They can't get your progress to stop, so they try to intimidate you, okay, with legal actions sometimes. So this is what he's telling him here. You are planning to rebel with the Jews. That's why you're building this wall. Okay, let's see. Verse 7. And thou hast also appointed prophets to preach of thee at Jerusalem, saying, There is a king in Judah, and now shall it be reported to the king according to these words. Come now therefore, and let us take counsel together. Then I sent unto him, saying, There are no such things done as thou sayest, but thou feignest them out of thine own heart. For they all made us afraid, saying, Their hand shall be weakened from the work, that it be not done. Now therefore, O God, strengthen my hands. Afterward I came unto the house of Shemaiah, the son of Delaiah, the son of Mehetabeel, who was shut up. And he said, Let us meet together in the house of God, within the temple, and let us shut the doors of the temple, for they will come to slay thee. Yea, in the night will they come to slay thee. Okay. So Sanballat is planning to kill Nehemiah if he does meet with him. Okay? He's feigning that he wants to talk with him, but really and truly, he wants to kill him because he doesn't like what Nehemiah is doing, rebuilding the temple. He's also trying to intimidate him to make sure that to coerce him to come to this meeting by telling him he's going to tell the king that Nehemiah is planning to rebel and that he is planning to make himself king, or already has people reclaiming him as king in Judah, which of course is all lies. Remember what they did with Jesus? They found the lowest of people who can tell lies at a blink to say bad things about Jesus and to say, yes, he blasphemed and whatever. And this is exactly, it never ceases. Nothing new under the sun means good or bad. Okay, verse 11. And I said, should such a man as I flee? And who is there that being as I am would go into the temple to save his life? I will not go in. So someone was telling him, come to the temple because they are trying to get you to go to this other place so they can kill you. So you come and we will meet in the temple in God's house. You know what? I know they have killed people in churches. They have killed people wherever, because Satan has no respect where God's people are or what things are of God. As a matter of fact, that's where he gets even more wild and crazy and tries to destroy. So even if he were to meet in the temple, this is what Nehemiah, thank God for wisdom. Okay, the fear of God is the beginning of your wisdom. And that's what he's saying. He's kind of contemplating, what am I doing? Going to the temple, trying to hide myself? No, I will not do that. Verse 12. And lo, I perceived that God had not sent him, but that he pronounced this prophecy against me. For Tobiah and Sanballat had hired him. So there was some man there coming to tell him, you know what? They're planning to kill you, but you come with me. We'll close the doors and we'll have a meeting there secretly in the temple, and you should be safe. And his wisdom, Nehemiah's wisdom, allowed him to see that this man was not for him. He was hired by the enemy, Sanballat, and he was going to kill him either which way. Okay? Verse 13. Therefore was he hired that I should be afraid and do so and sin, and that they might have matter for an evil report, that they might reproach me. My God, thank you upon Tobiah and Sanballat, according to these their works, and on the prophetess Noadiah, and the rest of the prophets that would have put me in fear. So some of the prophets were false prophets, hired by Sanballat, who was the enemy, trying to cause you to fear. And I would tell you this, sometimes, you know what, you don't need to hear certain things, but somebody is always willing to bring a bad report to you because Satan sends them to put fear and doubt and feelings of inferiority or whatever in your heart and mind to discourage you. And we have to know what voices to shut out and which ones to listen to. Thank God that he had God working with him. Mercy. Okay. Verse 15. So the wall was finished in the 25th day of the month Elul, in 52 days. And it came to pass that when all our enemies heard thereof, and all the heathen that were about us saw these things, they were much cast down in their eyes, for they perceived that this work was wrought of God. So when they saw that they were not making any leeway to discourage the building of the wall, and the Jews were not succumbing to their intimidation, they were not happy. Okay, they realized that was God's work and nothing would stop it. Sooner or later, your enemies have to come to the conclusion that, you know what, you're a child of God and God is working with you and for you. So they need to back off. Verse 17. Moreover, in those days, the nobles of Judah sent many letters unto Tobiah, and the letters of Tobiah came unto them. For there were many in Judah sworn unto him, because he was the son-in-law of Shechaniah, the son of Ara, and his son Johanan had taken the daughter of Meshullam, the son of Berechiah. So apparently they were all in cohorts with Sanballat because he was somebody famous. Sometimes we do that. And they were all intermarried and whatever. You know, sometimes you just have to stay back and just be by yourself. Okay, you can't join the crowd. There's no if you can't join them, if you can't beat them, join. No. Sometimes you just leave them be. Don't join, don't beat, just leave them to God. Okay, verse 19. Also they reported his good deeds before me and uttered my words to him. And Tobias sent letters to put me in fear. Whew, I tell you, sometimes when you're trying to do God's work, Satan puts his foot out to try and cause you to stumble, and God's hand alone keeps you up. You might trip, but you don't fall. And that is the hand of God. And this is what was taking place here with these Jews trying to rebuild the temple of God. When Satan knows you're trying to do something good, or you're living a life that's good, he'll send stumbling blocks in your way. Are we supposed to succumb to them? No, we're supposed to hold tight to God's hand even more. Even more. And that's the end of Nehemiah chapter 6. So, I pray that you all, did I say happy Sabbath? If I did not, happy Sabbath. It is Sabbath. I pray you all have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Like I said, it is what we call Easter weekend. It's Christians do acknowledge the time that Jesus rose from the grave after he died. Jesus is the only God we serve where you can't find a place that he's buried. They may show you an empty tomb someplace, but the thing is, it's empty. If that's where he was buried, which is no consequence to our salvation, where he was buried. But in any way, we know he rose again. That's the story of our salvation. Jesus died and rose again so that we too have that promise of salvation and life everlasting. That's the end of our reading for today. Until our next time, keep listening, because that's how faith comes. Take care.